Defining success is my number one principle for success in sales leadership.
Because the fact of the matter is, strategic partnerships can either become rocket fuel for your growth or the most expensive distraction you will ever agree to.
Right.
That still does think. I just want to make sure my name is still up there. What a disappointment.
So the way I describe this, Corey, is I have good taste and poor decision-making skills.
Is that what it is? Okay,
that's how I describe it.
A partner without execution isn't a partner. They're a dependent.
This book comes out today.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
I think it's called Beyond Distinction. He's talking about transcendence and how to deal with turbulence.
Well, that's very timely.
Yeah.
I have to get a copy of that. To get him on doing a show with him.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job of promoting it on LinkedIn and IG. And
Mike McCallum just had a new book come out.
Did he? Mm-hmm. What was it? Or what is it?
A new book.
A new book. There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I just know it came out.
Yeah. Let's check that out too. But yeah, Scott's, he's always been super nice to me.
Oh man, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Dude.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I met him in person once last year.
Oh, okay.
We've been communicating back and forth on LinkedIn, and just always super
All
encouraging.
In is the name of Mike McCallum's latest book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scott's great.
Yeah. And
shout out to Scott McCain. That's right.
Shout out to Scott McCain.
Shout out to Scott McCain.
And his new book.
To make sure he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be a listener to grow his podcast. No, I don't know.
He will be. If he's not, he will be.
Right. With subtle pressure.
That's exactly right.
And there will be quizzes.
That's exactly. We'll have to tag.
What exact part of the episode did you really like, Scott?
That's exactly.
I think we'll have to ask that. Like, we'll have to get complete perspective on that.
Granular with
I love that.
With the iconic
Yes.
With the icon.
Well, hello. Yeah, with the icon. Hello. You're in the right place. Don't turn that dial if you're looking to grow your business. We put it in the name to make it easy. This is the Grow Business Podcast. Yes. I'm your host, Corey Mosley. Joined by the esteemed, I need more. Joined by my esteemed colleague, Lon Graham, LG007 is in the building.
Voice of reason.
That's right. Yes, we're off to a good start. 2 minutes in.
Yes.
He's doing well.
Yeah. Locked and loaded.
Willie H is here.
Hit the buttons, William.
That is granola. You always got to see what it's going. You got to see what the 50-50 is going to be. Right. If he's had his kefir, if he's had his lot of items here.
Yeah.
We see what kind of. He had a lot of energy this morning. He got loud.
He did.
I get concerned when he. I get concerned because I'm used to him being at like 46 beats per minute on. Are you dead? Are you still alive at 46? Is that too low? Can somebody's number be that low? You know what your resting heart rate is?
Currently mid-70s.
Okay, that's your resting heart rate.
Yeah.
What is ideal? Is there an ideal number? Mid-70s is the ideal. Okay.
Yeah, I think you get super.
You're a low blood pressure guy. I don't think I've ever seen you really excited. I don't know what an excited Lon Graham actually looks like. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen him excitable. 60 to 100 beats is normal. I gotta go check mine. Ooh.
Yeah, I think you talk about athletes and professional athletes and people that train a lot. They're going to be 50s and 60s.
I'm talking about what an excitable Lon Graham looks like is what I was talking about. I don't know that I've ever seen maybe is it like when you're watching the dogs?
I do get excited when I'm watching the dogs. Okay. My heart rate will elevate at certain times.
Are you a yell at the TV kind of guy?
No.
Like, oh, why did you do that? Like that whole thing? No?
No. But I will talk to myself.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure everybody.
I'll tell him I'd have kicked the field goal.
Oh, okay. There you go. You're armchair quarterback.
Right, get on the board. Right.
You're armchair quarterback. Tell us about your illustrious. Did you have an illustrious career in football?
Did I? Not in football.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I played football, but it wasn't illustrious. I did play when I was on the Han Falcons. Okay. The Han Eagles.
Okay.
And we did have we were undefeated.
What did you play? What position?
So I played center, and safety.
Center.
Center and safety.
Were you fat at some point?
No, but I was, but
I've never seen a tall, lean center before. Is that a thing?
I was quick.
Okay.
I was quick.
I've never seen that. Willie H., have you ever seen a lanky center?
And then I've also played, I played receiver as well.
Okay,
so.
that now we're getting in the wheelhouse here.
Right.
LG 007 is center.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to see some replay
I
of
quickly
that.
realized that being a receiver was much better.
Okay.
Coach goes, because I could snap. Like I was a good snapper, long snapper for punts and field goals. And they said, well, why don't you just try this?
Huh. Well, while we're at it, I mean, I know the time is come and gone, but I feel like I do want to shout out my Seattle Seahawks.
There you go.
For their win. A lot of people get confused when, I talk about Go Birds. I think a lot of people thought it was Philly that I was talking about this whole time, but it was really the Seattle Seahawks. I have a long history with the Seahawks.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Paul Allen, their own owner.
Oh, okay.
Like,
sure.
There's just a lot of history in there. So it was
Sure.
great to see. It was great to see my Seahawks really, really do their thing there. So
yeah. Well,
congratulations to them.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dogs, their head coach is a former Dog.
Oh, is that
He
right?
went to University of Georgia.
There you
Yeah.
go. I didn't know that. Look at that. So that you could come over if you want.
There you go.
The water's fine.
There we go.
You
The
can
water's
come over. I mean, what are you, a Commanders guy? Who do you? Who was your NFL team?
I like the Star. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh wow! What a disappointment.
So the way I describe this, Corey, is I have good taste, and poor decision making skills.
Is that what it is? Okay,
that's how I describe it.
That's good. That's funny. Well, folks, you are at the right destination. We are here to talk about all things about business growth. We do that based on our 5 pillars of business growth. What are those 5 pillars, LG?
Well, Corey, thank you for asking.
Yes.
They are in order, no doubt.
Yes.
Mindset, sales, marketing, operations, and people.
That's right. We believe every business growth challenge can be found within one of these pillars, and your goal is to identify, isolate, and attack, and we want to help you do that in this show. We go deeper in this in my latest book, Position for Growth, now available. Got a nice royalty check a few weeks ago there.
Congratulations.
I mean, enough that you sold some books, but not enough that you can do anything.
Right.
Like pass the appetizers kind of deal.
Exactly right.
So some people are buying the book.
Right. It's
and
validated.
thank you for that. Yeah, people are buying the book.
Sure.
And then we do a lot of bulk orders that don't get reported like in the same way. Like, it's direct orders. But people are buying it. So it's enough to know, okay, people are buying the book.
Correct.
But they were not going on vacation. The book is not taking us places.
Right.
But fill up on 9. Kind of like that. Kind of like I get 20 on pump 3. Kind of like that. Yay. So folks, today we've got an exciting show for you. Thought we'd take a little twist here, a little twisty turn. For those of you just joining us, part of the fun is Lon never knows exactly what we're going to talk about. Oh, before I get to our topic today, congratulations. I imagine my surprise. I woke up and in my inbox was the One Thing newsletter from LG 007 from Lon Graham. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the new LinkedIn newsletter. How do people get that?
Go to longraham.com or actually go to LinkedIn and connect to longraham.com.
Connect with Lon Graham on there. Yep. And then he will waterboard you with his list, with his emails every week.
That's exactly right. It's a monthly newsletter.
Oh, it's monthly.
It's monthly.
Okay,
so
we
it's
got to pick that frequency up, buddy. You got to hit people like William. You got to go full William Sonoma on people.
Well,
that thing's got to come
like
in
every
the box.
15 minutes.
Yes, exactly, exactly. This is thought. This is primo thought leadership in the house.
It is. Yeah. Well, I figure we start out one a month and get some momentum, and then probably at some point, the second half of the year, we'll
I have the new I got the waterboard thing from my buddy, Scott Gable. Shout out to Scott Gable. That's what he does. That's what we call his follow-up game.
Okay.
Like you meet him at an event and you give him your card, Scott's gonna waterboard you. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. He's gonna waterboard you.
That is so good.
We were at a conference a little while ago and he met a guy in the bathroom. And he got the guy. Well, so he left his journal or like his book, not his journal, but like his kind of, just notebook.
Sure.
Yeah, playing a notebook in the restroom.
Okay.
And the guy found it and called him.
Oh, nice.
And said, hey, I found your, and then they got to talking, and then what he does, and they got into, what this guy does. So I was talking to him the other day. He's like, yeah, I talked to that guy already. I'm like, man, that was like 3 days ago.
Right.
Like, we just got back from the conference.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I got to waterboard him. So shout out to him. He'll love being recognized.
That is a perfect description
on the podcast. Yeah. And shout out to everybody. It was amazing. I was at this conference in Las Vegas, and a lot of people are voyeurs right there. So I was really surprised. I was really interesting to hear the amount of people who listen to the podcast.
Oh, fun.
Who don't, necessarily comment or anything or comment anywhere, whatever, but are like, oh man, I get your podcast. I listen to your podcast. I see I watch the clips and and I just thought it was just interesting.
Yeah.
To be around people who, had familiarity with me, who,
Sure.
who are listening. So pretty cool.
That's awesome.
All right. Yeah. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Let's get on that, get on the newsletter there.
Yeah.
And check Lon out. All right. So today we are talking about strategic partnerships.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to get into when to say yes and when to run the other way.
Right. Yes.
Because the fact of the matter is strategic partnerships can either become rocket fuel for your growth or the most expensive distraction you will ever agree to.
Right.
Right. It kind of goes back to that, best piece of advice someone ever gave me, right? Beware of opportunities. Beware of distractions disguised as opportunities.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is one of these things because everyone talks about partnerships.
Right.
Oh, we need to collaborate. We need to do something together. We need to partner on something.
Right.
The straighten numbers, 2 is better than 1, like all of those things that we have out there. But I find that very few people actually talk about when they actually make sense.
Right.
Right? When it's actually fair and equitable.
Correct.
Not just to the benefit. It's all those calls that we get. Oh, we'd love to get in front of your customers. Love to talk to your customers.
Right.
Love to. Yeah, I bet you would.
Right.
What does that do for me?
Correct.
Your affiliate program?
Right.
What does that really do? So,
Correct.
So today we want to focus on really creating some clarity behind this idea.
Sure.
Not just the hype,
Okay.
right? So, the goal here is to know exactly when to pursue them.
Okay.
When to pause and, when to politely just say no.
Right.
Even when the opportunity sounds exciting.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, Corey, is, the theme, at least from my perspective, the theme of this episode is going to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
It's not like a street in DC that's one way.
Right.
We're talking about ways that.
That's what I told the last guy. Willie Yates pulled a one-way yesterday. He was a one-way street. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, rolled back in the office. He's got his lunch all sprawled out. Brother over here starving like Marvin. Like, oh, I thought you got something. I guess we'll never. No, I didn't.
I was like, oh, you wanted something
And
too?
this was a convenient day. You picked something that I don't eat, or else we would have been going half.
It would have been a share situation.
Yeah, we would have been going half on a sandwich.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
I'm sorry.
to get back to it, though, I think as you listen to what we talk about today, think in terms of mutually beneficial.
Right.
Like, how can it benefit both of us?
Yep.
Doesn't necessarily have to be always equal, but mutually beneficial, meaning, and we'll talk about it. So I'll use that as the theme for for my thought process as we go through this.
All right, so let's jump into one. We're gonna hit 5. I like this theme of the 5. So
me too.
I think it gives us good timing, and because I just don't know who's got time to listen to 2-hour podcasts. So I feel like people do apparently because they're very popular. Was it you that was talking to me about like you'll listen and come back to it? Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay, like that's how you can. Like I don't have a week to give a podcast 15 minutes at a time. Like.
No.
I feel like I lose my train of thought there.
Yeah, but I get in and out of the car, and sometimes I'm in the car for half an hour at a time or 45 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
So I can listen to chunks of it.
Right.
Like I can listen, like I'll listen to us, and I can get that in typically in one sitting or one session.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the goal.
And there's others that are 45 minutes to an hour that are a good point, but anything beyond an hour, it's got to be at least 2 sessions.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so strategy 1. Pursue partnerships when there is a clear growth objective.
Okay.
Okay. So your thought process here is a partnership should solve a specific problem, not satisfy curiosity or ego.
Yeah.
Oh man, it'd be great to be affiliated with this person.
Right.
And then, but you don't have any value, right?
Right.
You know? What do you say?
Yeah. That's a great first one, Corey, is are you entering into this to advance and grow your business?
Yep.
Because if you're doing it to be associated with somebody, if there's not a growth benefit to it or not a business benefit to it, it becomes distracting and it takes your energy that you could be spending on somewhere else growing your business.
All right, so let's look. So signs, it's a yes. Okay, when you think about this.
Yep.
Right? And you started to allude to this. It accelerates revenue, reach, or credibility faster than you could do it alone.
Yeah. So I like reach because reach gives you access to people who are your ideal clients or we talk about the ICP, the ideal customer profile, gives you reach to more of those people because of your affiliation with this partnership. So I like that a lot because those are people you're already dialed into and you already solve problems for. So if you can get access to more of them, you're going to be able to grow your business by solving the same problem for more people.
Yes.
Maybe this guy can help me.
Yes. Okay, next is you can clearly define what success looks like.
Yes.
And there's a measurable outcome tied to the partnership.
Yes. Defining success is my number one principle for success in sales leadership.
Okay.
You have to define it because that becomes your guide, right? If you don't define success, you don't know where you're going.
Right.
If you don't know where you're going nowhere. Defining success in this partnership and being able to measure it in a way that says, okay, we are making progress in this partnership or we are making progress working together.
Right.
That is mutually beneficial. If you can't say this is how it can benefit me, this is what success looks like, you've got to really consider, and we'll talk about it, you've got to really consider whether or not this is the right partnership.
No, I like that. So we looked at green light. Let's look at red light or red flags, right? So, a red flag is taking attitude that let's just see what happens. Right?
Right.
Particularly if someone's now pitching that idea.
Right.
Oh, well, let's get together. We'll put it out there a little bit. If you're watching us on video, I'm moving around. Let's just see what happens. Right. Yeah. Let's just see what happens.
Right.
That's not what we want. And we also don't want the opposite, right? Not having any type of defined KPI to this.
Right.
Or even a timeline.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just see what happens. I'll tell you what happens. Nothing.
Right.
Actually, what is likely to happen in that scenario is that it is going to require effort and energy in that direction. That, again, opportunity costs that we talk about a lot, right? Effort and energy in a direction away from your focus and away from the way you define success and away from your business detracts from your ability to be successful in what you're doing on a daily basis in your business.
No, Nothing. Okay. Here we go. People are like, what are you doing with this guy, Willie Hayes? Why do you keep giving him all these chances?
Right.
And I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Anything, Willie H? Anything? Yeah. Anything? Okay. I want something for everything.
Yes.
Love bomb me with waterboard me with
it.
Yeah, let's look like we know what we're doing here.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not hard. Finally, the partnership exists because it sounds strategic. It sounds like a good opportunity. It sounds like something that would be a winner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's great. Music sounds good too.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the reality of it is that there are lots of people, we talk about networking community. We talk about where you meet people.
Right.
And there's clear benefits to that, where you talk to people, you get to know what they're doing. But when it comes time to start aligning your business and and getting into partnerships, you've got to understand how it can be mutually beneficial.
Right.
And music sounds good.
Yeah.
A partnership that sounds good, that you can't define how it's going to be good,
Right.
doesn't help you.
Voice of reason.
There you go. See? There you go. Back on track.
Right, here we go.
Just got to complain a little bit.
Hold on, Buckaroo.
Yeah, a little complain. Because here's the bottom line.
Right.
If you can't clearly explain how a partnership grows the business, it is not strategic. It's speculative.
Yeah.
Woo. When the church say amen.
Look maybe I got to give him the pep talk before we start.
There you go.
Right? Instead of mid-show.
Come in and encourage.
Yeah, it's like I got to take these
up.
corrective measures mid-show, but maybe I got to just give him the prep talk like, oh, you on point,
Right.
Maybe we got to do our I got to do my move. I got to do my Tony Robbins move. I got to do something. Get him hyped up.
Yeah.
You need to be hyped up. Yeah, there you go. All right, strategy 2.
Okay.
Avoid partnerships when roles, ownership, or control are vague.
Okay.
So confusion kills partnerships faster than competition, right? So when are we pursuing it? Well, we want to pursue when responsibilities are crystal clear.
Correct.
When decision-making authority is defined, and when exit options are discussed before you start.
Yeah, the second two, I'll focus on the second two. One, when decision-making authority, like who gets to decide.
Correct.
That's really important. And there has to be ability for both people to make those decisions. You just have to decide which ones are you making and which ones is the partnership making.
Right.
And then the second one, decide your exit strategy before you need it, because that removes or at least reduces some of the emotion. Because there are times when you're working through a new partnership where you're both going to be frustrated. And it's easiest to say, you know what, this isn't working. And if you don't give yourself an out before you get emotional, then you're going to make decisions that may hurt you more than help you.
Yeah, I like
and
it.
you better believe it.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
He's locked in.
We're cooking
now.
with gas
Yeah,
now.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Now, that was pursuing.
Okay.
Now we want to look at avoid.
Yes. Okay.
So we want to avoid where everything feels fluid.
Mm,
So think about that for a second, right?
right.
So it's loosey-goosey out here, right? So fluid, we'll figure it out when we get there. We'll make it up. Let's see. Again, it goes back to the let's see how it goes kind of feeling.
Right.
Also, ownership conversations are awkward, are avoided. So like you're trying to have a conversation to define decision-making or responsibilities, but you're not locking in. Something's coming up. You're pushing the meeting on that, and the conversation's not going well. And here's the last one. You're told, we'll figure it out later.
That bad.
So those last two really are running in parallel lanes, Corey. Ownership conversation, we'll figure it out later, means that you don't know who's taking responsibility for it. You don't know who's. So you've got to clearly, if you can't clearly say, these are the things you're going to do and these are the things I'm going to do, and when they fall apart, here's how we're going to talk about it and correct it, then it's a no-go, right? That's what we're talking about.
Well, and context is important here.
Yeah.
And what I mean by context is, like, plenty of people in business figure it out as they go along, right? I mean, that's part of a rite of passage to a certain extent in entrepreneurship. So we're talking about this relative to the topic specifically. So I don't want Corey just said, we can't, don't, say yes, then figure it out. I'm okay with that. I've done that plenty of times. But this is in this context because at the end of the day, ambiguity about things sometimes feels friendly at the beginning, but it becomes expensive at the end.
Well, and yes, it does, Corey. And here's, it's important to clarify this. You're right. There are going to be things that you're going to explore together that are unclear. Because this partnership is new, this business relationship is new, and so you're going after things together that are going to give you exposure that you didn't have before.
Right.
What we're talking about, though, is if you don't have a clear alignment on how you're going to deal with those things,
Mm-hmm.
and who's doing what, and how are you going to communicate with each other when those things happen.
Right.
Not don't pursue them.
Right.
We're saying have a plan when they do.
Right.
So that, and if you don't have a plan, then that's what we're talking about. It's a good opportunity to avoid.
Yeah. There it is.
Mm.
All right. Let's go to the 3 because he's out of gas over there. I mean, it's very predictable. Like you come to the end point, like got something teed up. Like I don't know what we're gonna have. We're not having a pre-production meetings. I think that's what it is because normally, you have your pre-production meeting and you talk about these things. So maybe we're gonna change that format.
Okay.
So I don't have to admonish on air. All right. Number 3, Willie H. Are you in the building? Okay, good. Send a high sign if you blink twice. All right. Strategy number 3: say yes when the partner has proven execution power.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want the blind leading the blind in the situation.
Correct.
Right? Hear no evil, see no evil. Okay? He's blind, he's deaf.
Right.
They're trying to make it work.
Right. Going full Helen Keller on.
Yeah, for those before you think I'm whatever, send the committee after me. It's a movie, folks.
Right.
Gene Wilder.
Right.
Not Eddie Murphy.
Richard Pryor.
Gene Murphy. It's a movie, folks.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And good, and one worth watching.
Yes,
it's one worth going back to see again.
Yes, especially the scene where he's playing the gynecologist.
Yes, indeed.
Some people like walking. Some people like jogging. But what I really enjoy, I can't say that. Gotta go see the movie.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking about proven power, right? So, vision at the end of the day doesn't scale. It's execution that scales. So, all right, let's think about this in terms of, so what are some green lights here? Well, they've already done what they say that they'll do.
Right.
They're bringing assets, audience, or infrastructure, not just ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And their track record reduces risk.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I don't get anything for that. You'll get something though. You'll get something. You go ahead, and then you'll get something. Go ahead.
It's a team game,
I don't know
right?
what's going on here?
Right.
That still does think. I just want to make sure my name is still up there.
It's a team game.
Okay, I'm pointing to it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, going into the green light is going into these partnerships. You're looking for things that you either don't have or don't have access to, and so you want to see that the person that you are aligning with has demonstrated their capacity to do what you're looking for, or has demonstrated their, like you said, their capacity to bring an audience that you already support, that you already work with, and then they're expanding your audience. And they're going to want the same thing from you too, right? It's, again, we're talking about mutually beneficial.
Right.
You want to look in the mirror, right? You want to be able to say that you can do the same things for them at your level that you're asking them to do for you.
This might be a guy I want to work with.
Right, there you go. Of course. Of course. All right, I'm giving out all the information.
Right.
I mean, but whatever. Red flags.
Yep.
Big talk, small proof.
Right.
Constant pivots. Also, you're expected to be the operational backbone, right? Someone's come to you for a strategic partnership,
right?
And they're like, "Here, I need you to do everything."
Right.
Right? Because here's the reality. And he better be teed up because I'm getting ready to drop something right here. Yep. He better be teed up. A partner without execution isn't a partner. They're a dependent.
Let the church say amen.
There we go.
Perfect.
I got to tee him up.
That was the right one.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, that was the right one. I mean, it becomes excess baggage, right? I mean, they become, however you want to talk about it, they become heavy. They become, you're doing the work. So not only is this partnership not beneficial for you when you're the one doing all the work, it becomes a burden for you because you're doing work for something that you don't have, that is compromising something that you do have.
Right. There you go. Yeah, he doesn't. Okay, good.
Lord
We'll keep it for me.
You know,
Tired of you getting all the. All right, strategy 4. We're in home stretch. Strategy number 4.
right.
Avoid partnerships that distract from your core growth engine.
Okay.
So here's the idea. Not every opportunity is worth your attention, even, this is the tough one, even if it could be profitable.
Correct.
So, when to pursue? It strengthens your primary positioning. It compounds your existing momentum. And it fits your long-term strategy.
Yes. Yeah, it can be profitable and still reduce your profitability.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is if you enter into a partnership that says, I can make 10% on this new opportunity, and your profitability is 25% in your current situation.
Sure.
If it doesn't grow towards that, then it can still be profitable and cut into your profitability.
Right. So this is, so when we talk about the avoids, this kind of next statement sounds tricky because the conversation here becomes, this is something you may want to avoid if it pulls you into a new market, a new message, or a new model that doesn't align, right? So getting into new markets is okay if you've got if your product or service aligns with a new market that maybe you just haven't been into, right?
Correct.
I work with dentists. My marketing company works with dentists. Well, I can start to work with lawyers.
Correct.
Right? Because I'm talking about marketing. I can get into that. But that wouldn't make any sense if I sold, dental tools.
Correct.
And again, you dumb it down to the ridiculous, right? But there are nuances to that people don't realize. And they go, and it's a look back moment. And it's like, yeah, why did that partnership didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Correct.
Is a great and unfortunate comment all at the same time. Yeah. So to your point, Corey, make sure it aligns. We talk about the when you're expanding your reach, make sure it aligns with the people that you're going to reach.
Right.
So if you're marketing for dentists and you're marketing in healthcare, maybe doctors make sense, maybe lawyers doesn't. So look at who you have access to, and that's the thing. Is it because if you have to change too much for this partnership to work, again, it's taking you away from what you're already doing well.
Right, and that's the next thing, right? It you don't want operational drag,
right?
Which is where you were going with this.
Correct.
And then the last one is it's creating a situation where you feel scattered more than focused.
Right. And here's something that is a little bit of a distinguishing characteristic in how we're talking about these. You may be thinking about, I want to add a new market, or I want to add a new customer to my business. If you're willing to dedicate somebody to do that so that it doesn't take away what you're currently doing well, and you say, okay, this is something I want to do. Here's an opportunity to do it. And you want to test that, that's fine.
Right.
But that has to be your mental process of, I'm not taking away from what I'm already doing well and the lane that I'm going fastest in. I'm willing to try and add something, and I'm willing to commit additional resources, not the resources that I'm currently using in my business.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Of reason.
And this sounds simple in its statement, but growth doesn't come from doing more things. It comes from doing the right things better.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? So
when the church say amen.
And if you want to bite for that, it doesn't.
He's trying to overcompensate now. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
It doesn't. If I can say, it doesn't come from doing more things. It comes from doing more of the same things well.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Last one. Home stretch. Well, at the end, not home stretch. Yeah. We've done it. Say yes when the partnership is testable before it's permanent.
Yeah.
Right. So, many times smart partnerships start small. It's not always a grandiose rollout. So what does that mean? Well, strategies, pilot projects, revenue shares before you think of something more substantive. A lot of times people, are doing partnerships that literally involve, forming companies or businesses together. Mm-hmm. So before you get into equity and shares and all those things, start with a revenue share. Start with something that's clean. Also, short-term agreements that have clear review points.
Right. Yeah, and in the small business, a lot of the people that are in our audience are small business owners or medium-sized business owners. You can start with one client. Right. You can start with one customer. Let's pick an ideal client that we can complement each other's services and work together, and let's see how it goes with that client.
Yes.
And then we can add more clients if that makes sense.
Right. You don't want to be in a situation where, you're pushed into long-term commitments early. Right. Before you have that opportunity. Equity conversations, you're having these discussions before there's any results. Right. Again, it's a little cart before the horse. Dream big, that whole thing. But again, be practical in this situation. And anything that the partnership is kind of like pressure driven, we got to lock this in, we got to lock this down. Those are just some things to, this is just advice. Right. From that standpoint, we don't, consult whoever. Right. Consult a consultant. Hire us. Right. But because I think at the end of the day, when I think about partnerships over time, I think some of the best partnerships, they earn permanence. Right. They don't demand it.
Well, and that's exactly, we dream big, but build it one brick at a time. Right. I mean, that's, do one thing well and then add something to it, or do one thing well and then do the next thing and do that well. And to your point, whether it's personal relationships, business relationships, friend relationships, you build the quality and the value of those relationships with each experience. Yep. And what we're saying is create an environment where it's mutually beneficial. You can win and they can win. Right. And again, you're not always going to win equal amounts all the time. Sometimes you're going to win more. Sometimes they're going to win more. Sure. And that's okay as long as you're both winning at a level that's what you want to accomplish.
Yeah. I mean, when we think about this, strategic partnerships is no doubt they're very powerful. Yes. But when they're intentional, right, when they're aligned, and when they're execution driven. So, folks, if it doesn't accelerate growth, if it doesn't protect focus, if it doesn't reduce risk, then it's not actually strategic. Correct. So, start thinking about that. Audit some of your current partnerships. Ask yourself, is this fueling growth or is this draining momentum? Because at the end of the day, the right partnership feels like leverage. Oh, yeah. The wrong ones feel like second jobs.
Yeah.
Woo. When the church say amen.
Yeah, and I think too.
If I could drop this mic, I'd drop it.
It'd be good. We can add that.
It's pricey. We can't have that.
Well, it's true. The other thing too that I'll say is if you're not currently thinking about partnerships, just explore it. Right. Are there some people that you could?
Well, now you've got a guide on. Right. Now you've got a structure on how to do that.
That's exactly right. So
love it.
Agreed.
Fantastic. All right, folks, we're gonna get out of here. LG 007. I know I'll let you call us out. Okay. Close us out.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. And next time, bring a friend.
That's right, folks. This has been another episode of the Grow Business Podcast. I'm Corey Mosley. On behalf of myself, LG 007, and Willie H., we will see you next week. Willie H., take us out.
That's
strategic.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, again, and also just to, I think, have that guide, right? Have a filter to run, have a checklist to run it. Right. Because people are presented with opportunities all the time.
Well, right.
And they're everywhere. Right. But it's like, because the last thing you want to do is spend 6 months on this collab. Right. That's a dud.
Yeah, and yes, I agree.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Bingo.
Bingo. Bingo.
I love it.